how's it going? So today we're going to work on a few random projects. We're going to start a few days back, and I had an idea to build a couple of things. So we're going to check that out, and then we're going to eventually come back out here and work on some more stuff. So it is a video filled with random projects. Hopefully you enjoy. I kind of go into the announcer mode occasionally. Whatever. Just sitting here watching some TV shows, and I thought, I wonder if I can toast bread with the pellet stove. Now the top of this does not get nearly hot enough to do anything. Hot air comes out right here, so I figured I'd hang the bread with some tongs in front of this stove and see if we can get the bread crispy at all. My plan is to attempt to make a grilled cheese sandwich. Now, I know this can get hot enough to melt cheese because, you know, cheese doesn't have much thermal mass, but I don't know if we can get the bread to any point that makes it usable. Anyways, random experiment. I just wanted to know if there was any possible way this would work. I'll let you know in a little bit. All right, the day has come. We are going to change the hydraulic oil in this lift. I forgot I had this little vacuum pumper thingy that actually works really well for this. I don't know if there's a drain on the bottom of that tank or not, but we're just going to pull it all out through the fill hole. And unfortunately, it appears as though someone filled this thing with automatic transmission fluid. So it's going to take a little bit of flushing to get all that out of here. I might have to remove that bottle. There is a clamp on there that you can do that with. Regardless, we're going to pump all this out of here first and see what we get. These pumps are really simple to operate though. You just basically stick the tube in there, and I don't think I can do it with one hand, but there we go. As you pull up on this, it pulls a vacuum inside that ball and then pulls the fluid out. And it's almost empty. The only problem with this style of lift and where this pump assembly is mounted, technically you need to pull the lift all the way out and run it completely to its lowest position to get all the fluid out of the hydraulic lines in the cylinder. But unfortunately, if I do that, I'm not gonna be able to get over here to the thing. So we're just gonna have to do a few flush cycles where I put a little more fluid in, run it up and down, open the relief valve, and just kind of do that a few times. You have a little bit of the fluid in there now, so we're going to cycle the lift up and down a few times, and also open and close the bleeder valve, and we should be able to get a good mixing. Then we'll change the fluid one more time. I do believe we have finished. Turns out that actually was not ATF or automatic transmission fluid. ATF has some very specific detergents and properties to it, and very specific odors. And I can tell you 100% that was not ATF. I'm also pretty sure this fluid has never been changed since this lift was installed. I think it was installed, what was the date on it? I want to say it was like 2012 or something like that. And that was after this bus had been out of service for a while. So I'm fairly confident that that's the factory fluid, which would mean it is that 5606 stuff. Anyways, it seems much happier now. It seems to lift just fine. I was noticing as I was riding up on the thing, I could hear the bypass activating, and also, it's hard to explain, but there's a sound that hydraulic fluid makes when it's under load, when it starts to wear out, and I was hearing that. But anyways, I've ridden it up and down a few times, seems to work good. I'm just getting the little bit of spillage cleaned up down here. Then we can get this cover back on here. And I need to do some research to figure out where the manual release is. So in case there's no power, we can pull this thing out manually. Obviously we can use this pump right here to raise the lift up. And then there's a valve here so we can lower it down. But as of right now, I don't know how this cassette pulls out of here. In my white van over there, there's a remote cable with a handle that you pull. But on this thing, I don't see that anywhere. So I'm gonna dig around in the service manual and see. It makes a difference too as to how it was installed. I think this is maybe a non-standard installation for this type of lift. Maybe it's not, I don't know, but we'll figure it out. All right, let's go for a rip on this thing. sounds so much better. Wow, it's got a lot more power too. So normally when it gets to this top part where it has to compress these gas struts, the thing slows down a little bit, but now it just powers right through it. That's awesome. Okay, we have obtained a few random things. First of which, someone got this off of my Amazon wish list for me. I don't know if they wanted me to say their name, so I won't, but I sent a thank you note. This is a little, like, work light, basically. I haven't wired up my low voltage power system in here yet. I'm going to have a 24 volt system and a 12 volt system just to run some things like this fan and the lights and all that. Right now, they're just running on power adapters that are plugged into electrical outlets. But actually, I guess I haven't mentioned, we're coming along pretty good on the power distribution cabinet here. I'll show you that in just a minute. But in the meanwhile, it's really handy to have little work lights like this. It's got a little heat sink back in there. There's a magnetic holder, a little hook. But the cool thing is how you charge it. Now, it does have, I guess it's also a power bank. You can charge it through micro USB or charge your phone with this thing. But these ports are a little bit fiddly, and usually later at night, and also when I get up in the morning, my hand function's not as good as it is during the day. So we got a docking station. You just go like that and the thing charges. Isn't that cool? Actually, how is this powered? Oh, it's USB-C. Yeah, so we've got a USB-C port on the side of it. And then, wait, was this micro USB? Oh no, it's also USB-C on here as well. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's got sort of a flashlight on the end, and then that's really bright. You can adjust the brightness of it there. It'll also do red light, which is handy for not ruining night vision. And then it's got this weird red strobing mode. I don't know what you need that for, but looks like the bottom of this comes off. What is... Oh! It's a magnetic... Is this... Nothing in here is steel. Or something made of steel. I think the pellet stove might be. Ah, yeah. So it's got a magnet on there and sort of a swivel mount. So you can point the thing up like that, stick it on something, and it's a great little work light. You can see there's a little ball socket down in there, and it just links together. So yes, to the person that sent me this, thank you very much. Very, very handy having a good work light. And the next interim project I've been working on, because I don't have the plumbing set up in here yet, and it makes it a little tricky to do things like brushing your teeth or like washing your hands or stuff like that. I was looking around on the interwebs. I'll put a couple of pictures on the screen. There used to be this company that made these self-contained little sinks, and they had like an electric pump or a hand pump and also a drain built into them, and you could use them when you're camping or whatnot. For whatever reason, those don't seem to be for sale anymore. So I got to thinking, what else is there that I could use? I went to the auto parts store. I got this drain pan. This is 9 quarts, so basically, what, 2¼ gallons? Math. But it's got this nice little basin here. There's a couple of little, like, there's a couple of little drains in the middle. So I figure I can just set this thing on this little counter that I built over here. And it's a perfect spot to, like, wash your hands or brush your teeth or whatever. It does have a drain over here on the end. Oh yeah, oil change pan. So my thought is, we can use this for stuff like that. I got to thinking, I've got a fluid transfer pump. It's a pretty small 12 volt one. I was thinking I could stick that thing on the side and run a tube down in here through the top. Because obviously this is going to fill up and you're going to want to drain it, but it's a little tricky to hold something like this with water sloshing around in it without making a mess. So I figured that little fluid transfer pump would be great. Just run a little hose out the window, hit the button, and drain it. So I'm going to see if I can find that thing. I think I know where it is. And then we'll have a little portable camping sink. This is like $15, I think. So, yeah. Oh, and then just for cleaning purposes, I got this little sprayer too. Because obviously if you're brushing your teeth, everything may not go down there, so you can just kind of spritz this and clean it up or wash your hands or whatever. And last up, because of the mud around here, I made a video about these. Actually it's got a pressure relief. Actually the larger version, But I'll link that video up above here and also down in the description. Basically, it's a little thing you can put water in, you pump it up, and then it sprays water out, or in this case, air, and you can clean the dirt off your tires. So that will be super handy. I think this was like $9 or $10, something like that. But anyways, a few little, I hate this phrase, but I'm going to use it, creature comfort things for until I get the rest of the major systems installed. Oh, I forgot. So I've kind of been waiting on completing the electrical system on this. I ordered a control panel, like a remote control panel, for the power inverter, and it finally showed up. I ordered it from China, and it only took like 2 weeks to get here, which wasn't too bad. But as you can see, we've got the little desk built down here, and we've got the breaker box sort of installed. This whole back part is going to be covered in plywood, and also on this side. And then I'm going to put some little shelves or like cubbies or something like that over there to put stuff in. Then we've got a little auxiliary desk here you can eat breakfast at or play around with a Chromebook or whatever. But I've got the feed for that routed in here. It's not hooked up yet, and it's not powered down below. But that goes down through the floor. These extension cords are going to come out of here. Those are just for temporary purposes. But now that we have the control panel, I can finally get that thing mounted up here somewhere. Might put it over there, or on this side maybe. I'll have to grab it out of the van and show you. But it's really cool. It's actually made out of metal, and it allows me to control the inverter and turn it on and off. Because right now, up here, I can't check the status of everything. And when I start using it, especially for the first little bit while I figure out how everything works, I want to keep an eye on everything. How much it's charging the batteries, the amperage draw, be able to turn the thing on and off and all that. So I think I'm going to grab that and see if maybe we can't plug that in and test it. But yeah, lots of fun stuff. Okay, here's our control panel. And pleasantly surprised, the whole thing is metal, which is kind of cool. But as you can see, that looks fairly similar to the control panel that's on top of the unit. Okay. The only obnoxious thing is the connection port is on the side of this thing. So if you're going to flush mount it, I guess this side is a little bit wider, but if you're going to flush mount it, this cable is going to get in the way. Okay, let's see what we get. Hey. Seems to be working. AC input priority mode, which is how we have it set up. We don't have the grid going in, so we got 0 battery voltage. Out is 117, which I think that changes dynamically when it's under load. Well, let's run the cable up inside and see what happens. Seeing as how we just went gallivanting around in the mud, we can use our little pump-up sprayer thing to clean off our tires now. Oh yeah, that works nicely. Usually I'd be rolling back and forth while I do this, but I'm holding my phone with the other hand at the moment. But anyways, you get the idea. Also, look at the weather right now. Isn't that beautiful? As you can see, our cable comes up here now, and we've plugged it into our control panel. I went ahead and plugged our ice maker into that extension cord that's running off of the inverter. So let's see what this thing does. Okay, looks like our inverter is running. Let's go ahead and fire up the ice maker and see what happens. The compressor doesn't kick on for a few seconds after it powers up. I just want to see what our battery voltage and our output voltage looks like, and also our load percentage. Okay, our compressor just fired up. Looks like it surged up there a little bit. Voltage dropped a tiny bit. Output's still 117, which is still within the margin of error. I'm not sure if there's a way to adjust that in the menus on this or not, but it seems to be running the ice maker just fine. 4% load. All right, cool. I'm going to figure out where to mount this thing, and looks like it's got some ventilation holes. Well, one ventilation hole. I don't know if this thing gets hot or not, but cool. We can finally proceed. Now I just have to get that junction box so I can hook it up down below and then hook everything up in here. And then I suppose once I do that, I'm gonna have to run some conduit all the way down here and put in outlets and all that stuff. But anyways, sweet. I went ahead and mounted this little pump directly into the drain area. I figure this thing's weather resistant enough that it shouldn't be a problem. This is actually what I used to change the oil in the bus right after I got it, but I think it should be good for that. I got the intake tube coming up here, it goes down inside. I pulled it out through this hole and I stuck a bolt in the end so it'll lay on the bottom. And I nipped a couple of holes in this tube. So we won't be able to drain it completely, but we'll be able to get most of the fluid out of there. So let's push this back down in there. And as you can hear, it's on the bottom of the tub now. So I think all I need to do at this point is get a longer drain hose, kind of tie up some of this tubing a little bit, and we'll be ready to test it. I can't quite remember a few days ago when I was filming where we left off with this thing, but it's pretty much wired up. I'm just waiting for a grounding bar to be delivered so I can put it inside there. Because since this is not a main feed panel, we can't bond the neutral and grounds together. Anyways, that should be showing up here sometime today. But I wanted to show you this. Here's the little sink thing that I built. I haven't quite figured out how I'm gonna power it just yet. Right now I've just been clipping it to like a tool battery or something like that to make it drain. And also I haven't plumbed this hose outside yet. I think I'm just gonna get a longer hose and just throw it out the window when I need to drain it. But I've got these little wire clamp things holding everything on here. I think to finish this off, I'm gonna get some little pieces of plastic that are about this tall and kind of glue them in right here using the hot glue gun. That way water doesn't get over here. It won't hurt anything, but I found it's just kind of annoying to clean everything. When you dump something in here, it kind of goes up underneath this motor and it makes it tricky to clean. But anyways, I think this will be a decent little stopgap sink thing until I get the plumbing installed in here. Which, by the way, I noticed someone bought me on the Amazon wish list the SureFlow water pump that I had on there. So, excellent. I'm sure that thing's going to show up here soon, and that should help with getting some of the plumbing stuff installed in here. We've still got a bit of work to do in this thing, but anyways, I just wanted to show you what this thing looks like. I don't remember how much this was, but this whole thing was less than 30 bucks to build. I'm going to head out to the warehouse today, I think. I've got a video partially edited. I think what I'm going to do is kind of finish filming some stuff while I'm out there and then finish editing it. I'm copying all the footage over to this little portable drive that I have, and oh, actually looks like it's done. Cool. Should I bring this camera? I don't know if I'm gonna bring that camera or the GoPro. Anyways, I'll figure it out. But we're gonna head out there and do some random stuff. I don't know what. Probably setting up computers, moving things. I don't know, there's so much to do. All right, well, on to the next thing, whatever that is. All right, we've made it back to the warehouse. Had some help yesterday, got quite a bit of stuff moved in here. As you can see, it's all scattered about. A lot of this, as per usual, I need to sort through and kind of figure out where everything is and all that. A lot of the stuff is labeled. Probably about 90% of it I managed to get labels on as I was fleeing the moldy fester barn. I forget what we were calling that house. Which, by the way, that old house sold for $589,000. I don't know how that works. I think the first thing we're going to work on here is getting this desk set up. I don't think I used the footage, but someone sent me an adjustable height desk, like an electric one. That's going to be really cool. This is the top surface of the desk, so it's nice and wide. That's like, what, 4.5 feet or something by probably 2 feet, 2.5 feet, something like that. But it's got motors and controls and all kinds of cool stuff. I've never heard of that brand before, but apparently it does in fact exist because, well, here it is. Oh, and the cool thing is, he sent wheels with it. So we're gonna be able to roll this thing around the room. These actually seem like pretty decent soft roll wheels as well. Anyways, he wanted to remain anonymous, so thank you very much for the desk. I'm gonna work on getting that set up here. I've got some food on the way, so it's probably gonna be here shortly, but I'm gonna get the stuff unboxed, see what it takes to get it put together, and then I'll check in a little bit. Well, food has been consumed, well, at least some of it. Ordered from a Hawaiian place. Actually wasn't that good. Anyways, we've made progress on the desk. So it's really cool the way this thing goes together. It had all the screws already in there, but it has alignment pins. And as you can see, there's sort of some slots. All you do is drop it on top of the screws, slide it over, alignment pin falls into the hole, tighten everything up. It does that with these bottom plates and the top, as well as everything else. But we've got it all hooked up now, so let's see if it actually does anything. E10. Not sure what that means. Let's cycle the power here. Yeah, I'm far too lazy to grab an extension cord. That's a battery in a box with an inverter. Not sure what it's doing. It keeps going up and back down. You can see the legs raising, and you can see the shaft down there turning. Well, anyways, the thing seems to work. I wasn't able to figure out how to put the wheel kit on it, though. So the feet that are on this just basically screw into a threaded insert, but these things just have 4 holes in them. And there isn't really a way to put those on there, and that's all metal. The other peculiar thing is it came with wood screws and washers. Not quite sure. It's almost like they wanted you to attach the wheels to the piece of wood, but anyways, I guess what I could do, I don't have any power tools here with me right now. What I'll probably do is just get some tech screws and attach them that way. I think that'll work good. But for now, I think I should slide around on this floor pretty easily because, well, polished concrete. I don't know if I can flip this over myself. I'm gonna sit here and rest a few minutes more and then see what we can make happen. After much fumbling around, we've managed to get the desk moved. I was looking through the manual. The reason it was giving me those strange error codes, apparently this thing has a gyroscope in it. I have absolutely no idea why a desk needs a gyroscope, but yeah. Press and hold the down button for 5 seconds. The table starts to fall and bounce back to minimum height. Okay. I guess it did something. Let's run it up. Seems to have a decent amount of power. How tall does this go? And does it have end stops? Oh boy, it's getting tall now. Is this going to fall on the floor when it gets to the top? Okay, there we go. Just for reference, here's me next to the desk. I'm going to play around with this a little more. It's got some presets on it, I guess. Yeah, I'll figure out how this thing works. Well, there you go. Random desk. Thank you for sending it. It's going to be very handy. I'm setting up a streaming computer here. I'll probably wind up using that table for that. I'm not sure yet. I got a couple computers. This one's the data management one, so it's going to have to stay in here somewhere. But anyways, I'll figure it out. I'm going to eat some more food, and then I'll be back. Well, some time has gone by. I've been working on editing this video. I had to temporarily stick the laptop over there because I decided to start setting up the streaming computer. So we've got that thing set up over there. This is the old 2010 Mac Pro, or I can't remember what year it is, but anyways, we got the monitors set up. I forgot that this one, when I have it vertically, the viewing angles are pretty terrible. See how it gets dark? Anyways, this is all recycled stuff and from Goodwill and all that. But anyways, at least it's booted up. There were some files I needed to retrieve off of here that I've been needing for the last 3.5 months. But anyways, we've got our little adjustable desk now. Yeah, it still seems to lift just fine, even with all the weight on there. Got the memory positions programmed. But yeah, I'm tired. I've been digging through the bins. I had to go through a whole bunch of them to find a DVI cable. For some reason, I lost an adapter, but anywho. super happy to be able to come here and work on stuff, have a place to do things. I think I might put this chair together real quick. I did find one of the joystick mounts. Ugh, it's a little bit disgusting looking, but I did find one of the joystick mounts for this chair. So I might stick that on there real quick and see how it works. Apparently this joystick mount was a little bit bent for some reason, so the joystick's like pointing up at the sky, but at least it's on here. I'm gonna hop in it real quick and see how the chair drives. I managed to bend the joystick mount a little bit, but let's see how this thing rolls. Oh man, this tire has some serious flat spots. I don't think there's enough space in here to get up to full speed. Oh boy. I think this thing needs a little bit of programming. The brakes leave a bit to be desired. See how long that takes to slow down. Oh, that's right. This chair has a gyroscope, and the firmware that's on here won't allow me to change any of the settings. See how they're all 100? It's probably a bit blurry. Oh well. But I really do like this chair for running around long distances and whatnot. Let's get right up against the wall here. Full acceleration. Yeah, it can't get up to full speed in here. Anyways, I think we're gonna call that good for now. Got a few projects done, got a number of other things that still need doing, so yeah, lots of repair videos and other things coming up soon, but I will catch you in the next video, if not on Thursday for the live stream. See ya.